Welcome back to JW's Backyard. So I've had this green frame here for a while and just didn't know what engine I wanted to put on it. As you can see, I have everything. And what kind of engine could satisfy a guy who has everything? And to be honest, I've already bought an engine and I already put it on here, but I forgot to film the intro. So just imagine there's not an engine higher under a tarp over there. It's a figment of your imagination. But I thought long and hard about what could please me, and I decided I'm done playing with little kitty toys. I thought, go big or go home. So I went really big. That's right, we got a Predator 459 for this thing. Now I know a whole lot of people have had stuff to say about this engine. How it doesn't have bearings. Just use the old film to lubricate. Well, I ain't got time for that. And if everybody did the same thing, this would be a boring world. So, I'm gonna show you what it took to get this engine on this cart here. And what it can do. So I hope you stick around because we're gonna have some fun. But let's get this thing on this cart. But for right now, I'm just gonna run a standard clutch on this thing. It's got a pretty big sprocket, but this is the only thing I have that'll fit on the output shaft of that engine. I've got a 40 series in the house, but I'm missing the back plate for it. So I'm just gonna see what it'll do with the clutch. It's probably gonna limit it a bit. Especially with the gearing, because we got a real small sprocket on the cart, but at least we'll have it going and I can swap to the torque converter later. And I'm hoping it's going to fit without having to take off the roll cage, but it looks like it's going to be pretty tight. This thing is huge. Look at the size comparison compared to a 212. So we got the engine bolted up, but as I was talking about before, the roll cage didn't look like it was going to fit. It kind of was tilted back like this, and you see it hits the engine. But I think if I straighten up the bar and cut a little bit of length off of the front here and re-weld the brackets on, I think we'll be able to get it to fit. We got our old seat, and I just finished up the new one. Makes you feel like you're going to church every time you ride it. So finally got the chain on and got most of the slack out of it. One of the issues I'm having is getting the chain tight. And that's because the engine's so big, I don't have room to slide the engine forward or sideways like I normally would, because it barely even fits on the engine plate as is. But I ended up getting a half link, and that got the chain right, because it was too short, and then if I added one extra link, it was way too long. But that half link did the trick, and we're getting closer to test driving this thing. Ridiculous when we get that torque converter on. Hard to get on camera how hard this thing starts pulling once it gets into power. Too much to drive with one hand. And the thing, I got this thing a couple years ago for $75. Was dilapidated, ready to go to the scrap yard.